react to and maybe make a few other new points. I was surprised to hear you embrace my analogy, because I would have thought no one would defend digging holes and filling them back up as the key to economic productivity. And yet I just heard you say that we're gonna put money in a jar and then pay people to dig it up, and at least they got a job. That is, once America reaches that point, I don't care what the tax rates are, once we get to the point where we view that as productive, and we think that's the secret to getting out of the worst recession since the 1930s, we are truly in trouble. And that's not going to do it. I'm concerned because I do hear also statements like the market failed. I don't see this as a market failure, but I know that there are people out there who see all failures as market failures. Okay, there are ideologues on all sides in these issues, and that's partly why debate's broken down in the society. Because there are people who, yeah, I'm one of them. I like the free market. I like smaller government, I'll admit it. How many people do you find who will admit, yeah, they like bigger government. They like it. They don't like markets. They want it done a different way. They too are out there. They too argue ideologically. They are getting less and less a chance to hide. That's what's actually going on that I see now in a society. And if you want to make up, some things should be done by government. I fully grant that. I think it's a foundation of society. I think when it becomes too large, that's when it all breaks down, and that's when you're messing with fire. Fire is a very important thing. It will heat your home, and it will keep you warm in the winter. But you do not contain it, it will burn down your house. Government has that potential, and we have seen it in the 20th century. I don't want to see it here in the 21st. Let me give you my quote from one of my favorite Democrats along those lines. This is one you don't hear from too often, way back when. This is from the second annual message to Congress from President Grover Cleveland, December 6, 1886. As taxes get into these kinds of discussions, and probably the most important thing about taxes is, when are they too high? That's really the argument to me. Yes, there are arguments as to who you want to tax, and clearly the rich should pay more. I'm not here to argue they shouldn't pay more. They generally get more benefits from this society, frankly. They get bailouts, right? I didn't get one, but Goldman Sachs sure did. Yeah, I'm not here to defend that kind of policy. Grover Cleveland: when more of the people's substance is exacted through the form of taxation that is necessary to meet the just obligations of government and the expense of its economical administration, such taxation becomes ruthless extortion and a violation of the fundamental principles of a free society. Democrats don't talk like that anymore, obviously. That's 100 years ago or more. That's Grover Cleveland. He's a heck of a president, in my opinion. But that is the argument probably that the society should be moving towards more than others. I do defend that. I do think tax cuts are more stimulative than spending. But the key difference between the two, because it's going to run a deficit. I mean, it's not like they have the money. They're spending deficits, and we got, what, $2 trillion deficit right now? And a debt that amounts to, let's see, what is about $100,000 for every man, woman, child in America. That's the recognized debt. It's the recognized debt, not include unfunded liabilities for Medicare, Social Security. So you're looking at a recognized debt of around $15 trillion and an unrecognized debt of 4 times that amount. Greece just collapsed. Their per worker debt was somewhere around $175,000. We're actually worse than Greece. We're in a worse position than that. It's just we are so big. It's Titanic takes a while to come down, I guess. I'm pushing on time again. I'm not sure how I exactly wrap that up, so I'll conclude with, unfortunately, that very depressing thought, and maybe come back to it later. Go ahead.